Hi, I'm Dustin Levy, a Senior Product Manager with Smiths Detection, and I'm here to introduce you today to the ClearSampler. Smiths Detection's HazMatID and HazMatID Elite products are ideal solutions for unknown solids and liquids identification in the field. If you're presented with a white powder sample in a plastic bag, you simply take a spatula, scoop out a small amount of that material, and place it on the diamond sensor of the device for analysis. Similarly, if you have a liquid in a container, you take a pipette, draw out a couple drops, and place it on the same sensor. The issue is that sometimes in the field, you don't get presented samples in this way. Sometimes you have very small quantities of white powder spread out on a surface, and you can't easily get at those with a spatula. For liquids, sometimes you may find a mist or thin film on a surface, and you won't be able to draw those up with a pipette. And this is where the ClearSampler comes in. So what a lot of first responders are doing today when presented with these types of samples is using a Q-tip or another cotton tip applicator device. And one of the main limitations of this is that the Q-tip itself has its own infrared absorption signature. And so if I place that on the sensor of the HazMatID, I see absorbance peaks show up in the signal. And those peaks are going to interfere with what I'm trying to analyze. That will lead to poor detection sensitivities and inaccurate results. The second limitation of a Q-tip is that it will easily be destroyed if you try to sample a rough concrete or asphalt surface, and that will lead to inconsistent results. And then finally, it's obvious that a Q-tip was not designed for people who are wearing heavy personal protective gear. And the ClearSampler solves all three of these limitations. The ClearSampler consists of two main parts. The first part is the ClearSampler disc, and this is the part that you'll use to actually contact the sample and lift it off of the surface. The second part of ClearSampler is a ruggedized handle that you use to hold that disc in place for easy sampling. The main advantage of the ClearSampler is the fact that compared to a Q-tip, the active area of the device does not produce an infrared absorbance signal. And so when I place the ClearSampler on the sensor, I see no peaks in the spectrum, and therefore I'm going to get a very clean spectrum of whatever material was deposited on the surface. The second advantage is that the ClearSampler disc itself is very ruggedized so that I can easily sample a rough asphalt or concrete surface without destroying the sampler. And the third main advantage is that this device is optimized for use when you're wearing heavy personal protective gear. First, we're going to use the ClearSampler on our deposited liquid sample. So all I do is dip the ClearSampler in that liquid, place it on the HazMatID sensor, lower the pressure arm, and I immediately see the peaks for the chemical that was on the surface. And I press continue. To analyze the powder substance, I take another disc, rub the sampler in that powder. I can confirm by eye that there's material on that disc. And I'm going to analyze this on the HazMatID Elite. The ClearSampler has been validated by several independent laboratories for chemical warfare agent detection as well as explosives detection. So the HazMatID is just finishing up. The HazMatID Elite is completing its analysis. Here's our HazMatID result showing hits for mineral oil and other types of hydrocarbons. And when the HazMatID Elite finishes its analysis, it's going to show us a hit for an explosive precursor, in this case, ammonium nitrate. What we've shown is that the ClearSampler can be used for these difficult samples that you encounter in the field, and therefore increases the usefulness of your HazMatID products.